Hello. Welcome back to day 2. We're super excited to see all of you joining us in the comments. Hello. Not so sunny Florida. Oh, man. We got Texas, Ohio. Hi from Sydney, Ohio, and Minneapolis. So good to see you all. We're excited for another fun-filled day. We have less surprises, I would say.
We have a lot of live demonstration and
a lot of live
today,
demonstration
though,
and tips. Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you guys will learn something new today. That's the goal, right? So I do have a couple things I want to talk about before we get into the heavy demonstration part of today. First, I want to remind everyone that this brand new spooky cute design is available on our website at hoopsisters.com. And if Nina is able and not on the phone, then she could post that link. That would be fantastic. And I did want to mention, though, too, that we also have some local quilt shops throughout the U.S. that are doing or have this design as well.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So if one of these is near you, be sure to contact them and ask them for it. Get it from them because we love to support them.
Yes.
I'm trying to read comments as I'm talking.
I know.
I'm never good at that.
I know. It's really hard to do.
I did see a comment, though. Someone said they ordered yesterday and their order already shipped.
I saw that, too.
So that's pretty awesome.
We try to be
Shipping
fast.
department was on it.
Yes. And I know you guys are super excited about this quick, or I don't know how quick it is, but trick sleeve. Yeah. Let's call it that. So we're going to cover that today. So today, I'm actually going to do the trimming demo and the pinning demo.
She tried to back out of it, guys.
For those of you who do not know us very well, my name is Aubrey Ellerbrock and I do not sew. I know, so weird, right? But it takes all of us to run this business and that's just not my thing. Sarah, my sister here.
I do the things that she doesn't do.
That's right.
She does the things that I don't do.
There you go. So it's a nice little balance. But today I'm going to do it because I want you guys to see that you can do this. Okay. So that's why.
I made her practice beforehand.
I did trim one thing. Just one
side.
I know how it works from hearing it and absorbing it for years, but to actually do it is very different, right? So I'm going to be your guinea pig today. All right.
You got this.
Okay. I got this. So we're going to do that. And then Sarah's going to jump into the sleeve and the backing. Honestly, you're going to do backing.
I'm going to actually put backing on it as well. Because I feel like that's one of our top questions. How do you finish the back?
Yes.
So we're going to walk through that as well today too.
And I feel like I haven't seen Nina in the comments. I feel like, and I could be wrong because the comments are always hard to keep up with. I feel like maybe she's busy. So I'm going to drop the order link in there real quick because I think she might have got held up. Okay. So that's what we're going to do today. It's going to be exciting. A couple more announcements. You guys bought out our fabric kits while we were live yesterday, which is holy cow. So appreciative of your guys' support of our business. And we know you're going to love that fabric kit, especially with the glow-in-the-dark fabric.
The glow-in-the-dark is so cool. And yesterday our live with turning out the lights did not do that justice.
It
but
didn't.
When you guys get that and you make this, you are going to think it's the coolest thing.
It really is. Okay. So just know the fabric kits are sold out. However, we did post in our Facebook group, we did post the fabrics we used and how many to make the big size. If you're not in our Facebook group, you can also email Nina. We will make sure to get that to you, okay? So just know that the kits are sold out, but the design is still available, and so are all of the coordinating tools. Okay, so if you have any questions about the fabric we used or anything like that, check the Facebook group. It's posted in there in the guide, as well as the featured tab of the Facebook group, or just reach out to Nina directly. Okay. All right. Quick recap before we dive into all of the good things that we're going to talk about today. Yesterday, we did release the spooky cute design.
It is cute.
Okay.
Emphasis on the cute.
Yes. I know. I'm sad about the kits too, but we can't believe it because you guys keep buying them out and we keep putting a little bit more and a little bit more and a little more, and then they're gone. So don't worry, you can still find some really cute fabrics, and that fabric template that you made will help as well. Okie dokie. So here,
hold on. Linda said hi from comfortable weather in Minnesota. That's really funny because right now a lot of people are putting very hot, hi from hot Florida, hi from,
very hot in
that
Southern
that made me laugh,
California. Linda's like, it's feeling good in Minnesota, at least for a little while till that snow hits you. Yes, we're still doing. That's a good question, Connie. Yes, the free shipping still is applicable, but the kit is gone. So everything that we talked about yesterday is still in play except for the fabric kit. Okay. Okay. So here is the design we showed you guys yesterday, and she's so cute. And I gotta say, we did have some ladies, I think this might be who's watching from Sydney, Ohio, stop in today we're doing the All Ohio Shop Hop here in Lima. And she said, she saw the quilt and she said, I got to tell you, I didn't like it on camera, but now I need it because I saw it in person.
They're
and
always
isn't that
cuter
the case?
in person.
And they really are.
Always. The details show up a lot better in person. Even when we do close-ups on our camera live, the details just show up better in person.
Yep, they sure do. And you guys know that because if you make it, it always looks better than what we showed you on camera. It's just the way that it is. Yeah. So that's good. But
this design is amazing, though. It's got 9 unique blocks in the center. Sorry, I'm just kind of jumping into some of the details. So excluding the border blocks, it's got 9 unique blocks, which is awesome. I love the layout of it. It's really fun. You can kind of play around with it and move blocks around a little bit in there. And then including the bonus, that would be 10 unique blocks because that bonus block can replace some of the blocks in the quilt as well if you want. So
yes,
really cute.
And I said this yesterday, but I always, when I look at things like this, I think, oh my gosh, you could take just a section, for example, like where it says boo, or just the caramel apples, or just the bat, and just make that a mug rug and gift it with a little bag of candy. You could do some really cute things with this for sure. So
this is really easy too. On that note, it's really easy to divide it into 4 different sections and just make even mini wall hangings. Oh, yes. There's a lot of different things that you could do with these blocks. It's a really fun layout.
Go do those things.
Lots of versatility.
Yes, go do those things so that you can post it and we can ooh and ah over it. That would be awesome. Okay, should we just dive into some of the demos, or should we cover the recap from yesterday in terms of ordering and things like that, Sarah?
You tell me. I don't know. You want to do demo first?
Okay, let's do it. Let's get it out of the way because I'm a little nervous, guys.
You do it.
Okay, I need a trimmer.
Oh, I stole it.
My trimmer jumped out of sight. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna trim. And as I said, so if you're new around here, drop a number 1, because you and me are gonna do this together. This is the blind leading the blind. No, just kidding. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim up this block. Our goal here is to remove the bulk from the seams. We got no backing fabric on there, but we want to remove this battleizer all the way up to that basting stitch. Now, if we used just a regular ruler and we went like this and we tried to line it up and cut it, inevitably you're going to slice into more of this than you want, and you're going to have to redo your block, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to take this trimmer by George. See that? Look how good that's showing up. Can you guys see?
Looks
this
good.
L right here. This is really the magic behind the trimmer by George. The acrylic ruler is nice, but this.
You're going to put me out of a job. You're doing too good.
No. You are not going anywhere. Okay, so what we're going to do with this metal lip right here, which is really the magic behind it, is we're going to pull this front fabric here. Just bend it a little. We're going to shimmy that in there, okay? And then we're going to lay it down, and we're going to just give a nice gentle tug. And I'm just visually looking for any fabric that might be sticking out there. And I don't have any. So I'm going to get my 60 millimeter rotary cutter. This bad boy stands up just a little bit taller, so we want to use a 60. If we were using something smaller, inevitably we'd probably lean a little, and then we'd have some problems. So we're going to use our 60 millimeter rotary cutter. And we're just going to trim that away.
Linda, by the way, the sister, one of the Hoop sisters, says, Aubrey Ellerbrock, you are doing great.
Oh, thanks, Linda. I paid Linda to no.
You bribed her?
Yeah. Okay, so I got one side done. I gotta pick this up because I know we got a lot to do today. So as you can see, it's trimmed all the way up to that basting stitch perfectly, and I didn't slice into there. It's a Christmas miracle, a Halloween miracle.
Another Linda Mather says, great job, Aubrey.
Thanks, Linda.
Oh, and Linda Remmer says, send cash. Okay, I'll stop reading comments now. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the metal edge. I'm going to shimmy it up there until I can feel it touch there. Lay it down. I'm going to just do a little very gentle tug, visually look for fabric, which I don't see. So I'm going to trim it here as well. Okay, done. Ta-da! I'm doing it. All right, one more, and then we're going to talk about what would happen if this was binding. Because right here in our example, these are all going to be joined right up with another block. Okay, are we getting it?
We're getting it.
Okay, I'm going to do this side now. Ta-da! Okay, now the other thing that you can do once you, let's pretend that this side is going to go have binding on it, okay? There is not going to be another block there. So what you're going to do, this is when the acrylic ruler side comes in handy. We're going to line up the 1/4 inch mark. Sarah, tell me if I'm doing anything wrong.
You're doing good.
And I'm just going to trim through all the layers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't push down.
That's okay.
That's just the rotary cutter. It's not me. Okay. So
Leanne wants to see you at the embroidery machine.
Oh no, I'm stopping here. So quit while you're ahead is what I know. Okay, and then we're gonna keep going on this, and we're gonna line up that 1/4 inch mark with that basting stitch, and we're just gonna trim this baby up. Sarah and Annie and Linda are a lot faster at this, but guys, I'm new. So
you know what though? I think going slow and talking through it is great.
Okay, good. So we're gonna do this again. We're gonna line it up, 1/4 inch. From the basting stitch, trim it away. And I got one more side. And look at this, guys. This is easy. I feel like I'm on a cooking show and I know what I'm doing. I'm not good in the kitchen though either. So
yes, you are.
Okay. There it is.
You did it.
There is our trimmed up, ready to join block. And here's the back. So you can see these 3 sides we're going to join them. We would join them to a block. This side still has that layer because in our example, this is where the binding is going to attach there. Okay. Okay.
Looks good. Now, by the way, lots of comments saying that the Trimmer by George is a game changer.
Yes.
I think it might've been Candace said she watched our videos for a long time and waited to order it. And she wishes that she wouldn't have, because now Trimmer goes everywhere with her.
Oh yeah. The George is awesome. Okay. Now we are going to join a couple things together. I'm going to do these 2 sides because the binding is going to be up here. Okay. So we are going to put these now. You can't see. Now we're going to basically, I'm going to show you the pinning technique that we use when we want to join the blocks together and have everything line up perfectly. Okay. So we're going to put the 2 right sides together. Sarah, you better tell me if I'm messing something up. Okay, and now I'm going to use my pin, but instead, most people want to just pin through the block and back in. We're not doing that right now, okay? We're just going to find the corner here.
And she's using what we call an anchor pin technique. So she's using anchor pins right now.
And then see how I got it through there? Now I'm going to put it right where I want it to match in this corner, okay? And I'm going to push it all the way through. So see how it's like sticking out? See? And we're going to do that again in the next spot that we want to match up. So I'm going to do it right here. Right there.
Ooh, Diane, I see your question. We'll answer that in 1 minute. That's a really good question because there is a way to fix that.
Okay. So I've got this pin right here, and I'm going to go through and find exactly where I want it to line up and push again all the way through. Are we seeing that okay? I'm not used to this hands on the camera.
Looks good.
Okay. Now we're going to do it again. We're just going to go right here where I want it to line up perfect. Ooh, I'm going to drop a pin on my foot.
And Aubrey right now, she's pinning a 5-inch block. So in a 5-inch block, anywhere from 2 to 4 match points is really good. If your block is larger than that, you might want to find another match point or so. I would definitely do more than 2 if you're doing a larger block, but this is perfect for her.
Since
5-inch
I'm new,
block.
I'm doing 4.
There you
I'm
go.
like, let's
you
load
can.
this up. And then I'm going to do this corner right here too. And again, right straight through the corner that I want it to perfectly match with. Okay. So the anchor pins are in. That looks dangerous, but that's a good thing. We want it to look like that. Now we're going to come through and we're going to put this pin right through here. Can you guys see?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to pull it back into the block, more like a traditional pin would look. Then we can get rid of this anchor pin.
So why do you do the anchor pins, Aubrey?
Yeah. Well, why?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said wow. You do it so that it doesn't shift and move and everything lines up perfectly.
Yes.
All right. I've studied, you guys. I've studied. So now I'm going to put it through here. This is probably taking way longer than it would if Sarah was doing it, but I want to do it right. And so that's okay. If you do it slow like me, it's okay.
Yes.
So there we go. We're moving right along. And I'm just stealing the anchor pin and just doing the next section. Okay.
I think it's great that you're going slow. If this is a challenge for you when you're joining your blocks is pinning and getting them to line up, go slow at first and you'll get faster with practice. And you're going to find that this technique works really, really well.
Okay. And my last one, and then I'm going to pop this out. And then Sarah would go to the machine.
Yeah,
and
I can do that.
Would stitch it right there, and she would take her pins out as she goes.
So I'm stitching right on that basting stitch. So you're not stitching a 1/4 inch from the raw edge. You're just stitching right on that basting stitch. I see Carla over on YouTube wants to know if binder clips would work the same as the pins. I don't prefer to use the binder clips, Carla. I know that some people do. I find that with pinning it and using this anchor pin and match point technique that you are going to get a lot more precision when you're putting your blocks together and things are going to line up a lot better. Ta-da. Maggie says quilting and sewing is not a race. Take it at your own speed.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, good, because I'm not Mario Andretti over here, that's for sure. But I did it, and it's
you did great.
Ready to go. So
you did great. Okay. Diane, over on YouTube, you wanted to know, is it a problem if you trim away the battleizer and it is going to be in the binding? So it's a problem, but it's fixable. And that's the best part. So I'm going to remove all your hard work.
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I feel like I can stop worrying now. I did it.
No, you did it.
It's only a problem, Diane, if you do it on a live in front of everyone.
So you see how I've got 2 blocks here. So this block is where my binding will be stitched to, right on this edge. Let's say I wanted to join these blocks, and so my binding would be up here as well, but I trimmed it away. Oops, I trimmed it away. All you have to do, I'm going to grab this. All you have to do is grab a scrap of your battleizer. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to trim. I'm going to use my trimmer by George. And all I did was trim a 1/4 inch slice. See that? And then again, I want my binding to be right on this edge. So if you just take some glue, like Roxanne's glue based it is what I use. You can glue this down and then you can set it with an iron right along there. So it will just act as though you didn't even trim that away.
Cool.
It fixes that issue. And then after it's dried and that glue is set, you can turn it back over and you'll probably have a little bit of battleizer sticking out and you can just retrim to a 1/4 inch if you need to. But so if you trim your battleizer away where you need that binding, that is the best fix. And it's so easy. So easy.
Perfect.
Okay. What should we do now? Should we go on to backing?
I want you to answer this real quick.
Okay.
Because we do get this question frequently. Is the vanish thread in the bottom and the top of the needle? And the answer is
just in the needle. Yep. Not in the bobbin.
Which is different than if you're doing the monopoly to join it, in which case you'd have it in both.
Yeah. I don't use monopoly to join, but you will use it when you are attaching your back. Yeah. Sorry. I think I knew that you knew what you meant. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know if I knew what I meant.
I think you
should probably keep Okay. Perfect. Now what? Now
Okay.
are we putting the backing on?
Yes. Now we're going to add the backing. And I'm going to say this a couple times because I don't want anyone to get confused. These are just blocks for demonstration. These files are not included with Spooky Cute. They are just Spooky Cute Halloween
just
colors,
Halloween color demo
blocks. So don't look for these in your files because these are just demonstration blocks that I have. So I've got my blocks put together. I've got, my 4 main blocks and then some fun little border blocks. I need a backing though. See, so I've just got my battleizer and I can see my raw edges and some of my thread. I need a backing. So how I'm going to do this and how you'll do this for Spooky Q and a lot of the smaller designs that we have, this is the best way to back it. So it's a 1-piece backing. So I've got 1 piece of fabric. I cut my fabric about an inch or so larger on each side. So about anywhere from a 1/2 inch to an inch larger on each side. So if this, I believe this is about 16 by 16, I cut my black fabric about 17 by 17. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my backing fabric right side down. And then I'm going to take my joined blocks for my wall hanging and it's all ready to add that backing. And I'm going to lay it right side up, right on top. Okay. I should have grabbed pins. What was I thinking?
You want me to go find
that's okay.
pins?
I'll use these. I'll just use straight pins. So definitely recommend safety pins because that's just more enjoyable to use for this. But I'm just going to use some straight pins for this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pin to join these two together, but I'm going to avoid my seams. Okay, so I'm just pinning right kind of in the center of my block right here. Did I say something goofy? I thought you cocked your head like I said something goofy for a second.
No.
Okay. So I'm just pinning. You want to make sure you're catching that backing fabric. And make sure you're avoiding your seams as well, because we're going to take this over to the machine and attach this in a moment. You guys get to see a little of everything today. And I should mention, as I'm pinning, I kind of start with my center block. So I'm not going to start out on my edges. I'm going to start toward the center. And if you're working with something larger, just smooth it out as you're going and keep pinning and working your way out to those edges.
And when we have a second, Sarah, someone's asking what is Vanish Light thread. I might go grab it so you can show them. Okay. But if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so Vanish Light is, I'll tell you as I finish up pinning. Vanish Light is a water-soluble thread. And the reason that we use that, well, let me talk about the places that we use it first. You use it in some of your placement stitches, and then you'll also use it for some of your tack down stitches. So those basting stitches that are tacking down the fabric around the edges of your block when your block is in the hoop still, those are great places to use it. And the reason for that is because once you join your blocks together like this, if you don't catch that basting stitch perfectly, so we have some basting stitches just around this outside edge, but they're on the edge of all these blocks. If you don't catch those perfectly when you join your blocks, they might show a little bit in your seams. With a water-soluble thread, you can just wash that right away. Okay. So here, we've got it all pinned, right? So our backing fabric is pinned to the top of our wall hanging. Now I'm going to go over to the machine, and you would want, I have a white thread because I'm hoping it'll show up a little bit more, but you would want to use a monopoly thread, which is just a monofilament invisible thread in the needle and the bobbin. If you don't like using it in both places, I would highly recommend using the monopoly thread in the needle, and then in the bobbin, you can match your bobbin to your backing fabric. So let's head over to the machine real quick. You want to chat with them while I move over there?
Yeah, and while you do that, this is a question we get often. Do you press the seams open? And I know the answer, but why don't you go ahead and...
So we just press our seams to one side. We do not press them open. I should have asked. Okay. Yep, we just press them to one side, and with each row, we're just alternating the direction in which we're pressing our seams.
Okay, so we got that answered. I'm just making sure that I didn't see anything else. Okay, we did that. We did that. All right. So as Sarah's just getting her camera switched over so that she can show you how she finishes joining the backing to her little quilt over here. So we'll be right back with her in a second. But I did want to make sure that we recapped a couple things that we talked about yesterday because size is important. You guys know you want to make sure this fits in your hoop. So the small wall hanging, you will want to make sure that you have at least a 4.92 inch by 5.9 inch sewing field because the blocks within this quilt have a couple different sizes, but in the small, that's the biggest size you would need. Sarah looks like she's ready, so I'm going to pop you guys back over there.
Okay, so we're over at the machine, and like I said, when you're doing this, you want to make sure you have a monopoly thread in the needle. So just an invisible thread in the needle because you're going to be stitching with the top of your wall hanging facing right side up, and we're going to stitch in the ditch. That invisible thread will blend right in if you use it. Now, I like to use it in the bobbin as well. If you don't want to do that, you can easily just match your bobbin to your backing fabric and it will still blend in nicely. So what we're going to do, and I already started a little bit, is you're going to select an elongated serpentine stitch. I'm not going to give you criteria on exactly width and length of that. Just an elongated serpentine stitch. With most machines, you can probably just use the default that comes up when you select that serpentine stitch. And now we're just going to stitch in the ditch. And one of the things I like about this is you don't have to stitch perfectly because it's just kind of going to gently meander right over that seam. And this is also going to help your wall hanging lie really flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my center seam, and then I'm going to do the two outside seams, and then I'll turn it and I'll start with the other center seam and then the two outside seams. After that, I'm just going to quickly baste around the edges of my wall hanging, and then we get to get in the fun part of showing you the sleeve trick. So let's get started.
We told you we had a lot of demoing to do today.
Okay, let's see. I don't know if this is going to pick up on camera. I tried to use a white thread.
Oh,
Does it still kind of blend in? I can't.
A little bit, but you can kind of see it.
Yeah, so it just kind of meanders back and forth right over that seam, which not only helps it lay flat, but it also means you don't have to be perfect and stitch in the ditch perfectly. And with that monopoly invisible thread, it really does just blend right in.
So you are not doing any sort of back stitching at the start, at the end, or you're just going?
I'm just going.
Okay.
I do a locking stitch at the end, the beginning and the end, but.
Did you guys hear that? She does a locking stitch at the beginning and the end.
And with something smaller, like what I'm working with, I think it's fine to go a different direction. If you're working with something larger, you might want to keep stitching in the same direction, just so that it's not kind of pushing your blocks or doing anything in case you missed your backing fabric or whatnot. But I think with Spooky Cute, I think you'd be fine if you're kind of turning it and working in another direction as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so this is my third seam on this side. Then I'm going to turn it and do the other three seams. And while I do those, Aubrey, if you want to talk about promotions or any other fun info that you have for them right now.
Sure. So, okay, as I was saying, the sizing information is listed here as well as the approximate finish sizes. Our sample that's hanging on the wall behind us that we showed yesterday is actually the small size. So it does go bigger. But this quilt, the one thing that I think is so cool about this is there are different block sizes within this quilt. It's not all just one block size. So we did want to make sure that you guys had all that information. Thank you, Nina, for dropping the order link there as well. We do still have the free shipping going on. It expires tonight at midnight. You just have to add $129 or more to your cart. And so this promotion is still active during our workshop, okay? Sarah, do you need a walking foot to do this part or just a regular foot for your when you're doing the serpentine stitch?
I am using a walking foot. I'm going to defer to Miss Linda Remmers if she's still in the comments. I think that you probably would be fine without a walking foot, but I love using my walking foot.
And we are not showing how to add sashing today. Right now, she's just doing a one-piece back. And with the one-piece back, you do not need to use the sashing strips. Did we show that last week when we talked about backing options?
I did do a quick little demo on that.
I thought you did too. Okay. So we do still have this promotion going through midnight tonight. So I'm going to be asleep. Thank goodness this thing's automatic because I'm not staying up that late. Hopefully you're not either and you get this ordered sooner than that. But if you create your own bundle on our website, I believe Nina just posted the order link in the comments. So if you go over to that link, everything on that page, if you add it to your cart, we do have a couple exceptions. I'm going to actually take this banner down so you can see what those are. But if you add 2 products or more to your cart from that category, it's going to save you 10% and it's going to add this super cute bonus to your cart automatically. We'll show what that bonus is too in just a moment. So make sure to click the link that Nina dropped, add a couple things to your cart. The only things that are in that category that are excluded from this promotion would be our strip stick, which we haven't even used this time, and any kind of thread. Any threads on the website are also excluded from this promotion, but that is active through midnight tonight. You want me to toss it back to you or keep going?
I think if you want to keep going, I've got one more side to do, and then I'm going to switch up my camera again.
Okay, she's rocking and rolling, so she's going to keep going and holler at me when you want the camera back. So this is the bonus I was just talking about. So not only do you automatically get 10% off when you add 2 items from that specific category to your cart, it will also automatically pop in this adorable trick or treat block. And I think what I'm going to do is show this to you because it's super cute. So this is the block. This is the small. I'm assuming there's a large. Well, I know there's a large. But this is the trick or treat block. This is the bonus. And it's super cute, just like this, right? You could do as I said earlier and like put it with a bag of candy, give it to the grandkids, something like that. Or you could use it as a mug rug. But the really cool thing that it also does is it replaces the same size block in the quilt. So for example, if you wanted to put it in place of the candy corn, look at that, how cool. So you could do that. I think it also fits where the bat is, we said yesterday. So if you wanted to pop this in and kind of play with the layout. Also, Sarah just said something really smart when we first started. Don't tell her I said that.
Hey, I'll remember that.
This right here, she said, this is different size blocks. Like we were just talking about the block sizes. But she said you could even make like a little mini quilt with some of them and then just put the border blocks around it. So there's a lot you can do with this quilt. It's actually quite versatile for a Halloween quilt, I will say. So that is definitely something to think about. And this is a $15 value on its own. It's not for sale separately just yet. We don't like to do that during the workshop, just causes confusion. But this bad boy goes in if you do the create your own bundle, okay? So got that. All right, expiring at midnight. This is the workshop pricing. It's always, if you're thinking about it, now is the best time to do it because you're going to get 10% off plus that freebie bonus. The fabric kits are gone, so my example is no longer applicable, but you could pop in 5 yards of battleizer and you would get 10% off that. So it's a good time to get battleizer, trimmer, scissors, plus the design if that's what you're thinking about doing, and it'll save you some money. And don't forget, we do have the free shipping over $120. I think it was $129. Okay, looks like Sarah might be ready.
Okay. So I'm going to say it again. I said I'd say it a couple times. Again, my blocks are just for demonstration. These files are not included with Spooky Cute. You get much, much cuter files than this. So don't worry. So I added my backing. So, ooh, you can see that good on the back.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks a little crazy, right? But this is why you're either going to use a monopoly invisible thread in your bobbin, or you're going to match your bobbin to your backing fabric. I used the white because I was hoping it would show up well.
It does.
It kind of still hides on the front a little bit, but on the back, you can kind of see what I've done. After I did the serpentine stitch in the ditch, I went ahead and basted around all sides. And now what I'm doing is I'm just trimming this excess fabric on all of my sides. So I'm just trimming it even with the edges of the quilt. So about 1/4 inch from that basting stitch. Ish.
The back does look really good. I agree, Loretta. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so now, you guys, this is the point where we can do our no hand sew sleeve. Because now, if you guys worked around here, you would know that I am notorious for either one, not putting a sleeve on my wall hanging because I forget, or when I do put a sleeve on my wall hanging, you know, there's typically hand sewing involved. My sleeve falls off because I don't like to hand sew. I am not good at it. I should probably practice more.
Who else? Can we get an amen in the comments if you also don't love to do the hand sewn sleeve?
Few people, right? Okay. So I think, Aubrey, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this document is in the Facebook VIP group as a file.
It's also right here.
Also right there. There you go. These are the steps that we're going to be following today. And now I need to do better instructions.
We get some amens.
Okay,
no hand sew.
Oh, I see a gasp. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So the no hand sew sleeve instructions. This is a method that's going to work great for a wall hanging that has borders. So see how this has like border blocks on it? It's not going to work quite as well for a wall hanging that doesn't have borders, or a wall hanging where the blocks are on point. And on point, if you're not familiar with what that means, it just kind of means that your blocks are on point, right?
More like a diamond than a square.
Yeah, they're more like a diamond than a square. Thank you for saying that. I was struggling to find the words. So this little guy and Spooky Cute are 3 block wall hangings like Autumn Garden. This method is going to work fabulous for.
So border good.
Yes, border good, no border bad. It also says on here, and I've never demonstrated this, guys. So you are.
Oh, you're gonna do it live for the first time.
Yes.
Now you know how I felt trying to use that trimmer, and I did it. You got this.
Yeah. So it also says on here that you're gonna follow these steps below after all your blocks have been joined together. So we did that. We're good. And after your backing is on. So we added our backing, but we want to do it before you've done binding. So your binding is going to happen last, right? Your sleeve's going to happen first, then your binding. So step 1 says you need to first determine the dimensions to cut your sleeve. So I already determined that. Now, what?
You determined it after I said, that looks little. And you were like, shut up.
I cut it the wrong. See, this is why you
shouldn't work with your sister.
Yeah, working with your sister, guys. Man. Okay. So we're gonna ignore Aubrey. First, you need to determine the dimensions to cut your fabric for your sleeve. So the sleeve length is just going to be the width of your completed wall hanging. So I think this is about 16 inches. I cut my sleeve 16 inches long. Then you need to determine the length. Oh shoot, I forgot one of my tools. Let me go grab that. No, I want to use this little guy.
And we did post these instructions that Sarah's using in our Facebook group. I'll also pop it in our blog, I think, so that it'll be on the website.
Yeah, and those don't include any of the snark.
Oh yeah, that's not as fun. That's not as fun.
I'm just teasing you. Okay, so how to determine how wide to cut your binding is you're going to measure. So I'm just going to use this little sewing gauge. You're going to measure from the bottom of your border block right up to the top, including that seam allowance. So when I measure that, it's 3 1/4 inches. I need a pair of scissors. I feel like that points better than my hand. So I'm just measuring right from this seam right up to the top, including my seam allowance. So it's 3 1/4 inches. Now that I have that measurement, I'm going to double it. So 3 1/4 doubled is 6 1/2. We got to do some math here. Then you're going to add about 3/8 of an inch to a 1/2 inch. You kind of have a little bit of a range there. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can always trim some off if you want. So maybe go a 1/2 inch, but I think 3/8 of an inch works really, really well.
And this is just an extra little lesson that'll work for any of our stuff that has a border. It's not specific to Spooky Q.
That is right. So what I did with this sleeve, because my wall hanging is 6 inches wide, 16 inches wide, I cut my sleeve 16 inches wide. Then I needed to know how my height to cut it. So I'm doubling this measurement to 6.5 and adding 3/8 of an inch. So I cut this 6 7/8 inch wide this way. So next what we're going to do is we are going to turn this over and we are going to attach this to the back. And now I will say I did prepare this and this stuff is included in here, but you're just going to double fold on this short edge and just top stitch to kind of finish that edge. Now to attach it to the back, what we're going to do is this is the top of our wall hanging. We're just going to come in here, kind of center our sleeve on there, align the raw edge with the raw edge of our wall hanging. So raw edge of the sleeve, align that with the raw edge of the wall hanging.
I'm following.
We're just going to pin, and I'm going to kind of pin backwards here. You'll see why in a second. You don't have to. I just don't like when my pins are not facing up.
Oh, that's slick. I don't know how to do that. So
I'm just pinning. You don't have to. The reason that I'm pinning like I am right here and I'm just kind of pinning from the opposite side is because we are going to take this over to the machine.
Got it.
This side's going to be down. I don't, that bugs me when my pins are facing down. So I'm just kind of pinning just to hold this in place in various areas.
No anchor pins for this part.
No anchor pins, and it does not have to be perfect.
Hey, I like that.
We are not perfect, and perfection is just stressful. You don't want that. Okay, so now I've got that. I'm going to head over to my machine now, and I'm so sorry, Aubrey. I'm going to kick it back to you so I don't make them see.
Okay.
But I'm going to head over to my machine, and I'm going to get it set up with a monopoly monofilament thread and the needle and the bobbin, okay?
Okay. I'm going to do that so we don't make you guys seasick, and she's going to get back over to the machine and show you this. Okay. All right. Now I also want to, where did I go? Okay, there we go. So while you are doing this during the workshop, again, the free registration gift, the candy corn mug rug, the bonus is currently available. These are all things that don't last forever, but right now you can get them in the complete set. It looks like Sandy created her bundle. Awesome. You like saving 10% and getting a bonus? I would too. The trimmer, Bonnie, is part of the 10%. So if you put the design and the trimmer in, you will get 10% off and it'll pop the bonus in for you. Okay. Sarah's ready already. She's speedy.
Okay. So remember, we lined up our sleeve with the edge of our wall hanging. And now we are going to work with that side, the sleeve side down. So my sleeve is still open, guys. Still open. I'm not folding it up. I've got my pins holding it in place, not folded up. I have the monopoly invisible thread in the needle and then also in my bobbin. Now, if you want, again, same as when you're adding the backing, you can match your bobbin thread to your sleeve or your backing fabric if you'd like. So now all we're going to do is with a straight stitch, we're just going to stitch right in the ditch on our seam that's right below our border.
So straight stitch now, not a serpentine stitch.
Right.
Okay.
And now this is normally where you'd be hand sewing, is about where I'm stitching right now.
Okay. Also, Sandy said, I love this design even though I'm not into Halloween. I feel the same way, Sandy.
Aww.
I feel the same way.
So just stitching in the ditch. Okay. So what we've done now is we've secured our sleeve to the back right along that seam.
Look
so
at
you
that.
Can see how it's nice and secure. And now this, if you guys have done a sleeve before, you know this is normally where you'd be hand sewing. But we don't want to do that.
Some people said that it relaxes them.
I know some people do like doing it.
Around here, we don't have time. We got to go to the next thing, right?
It's not relaxing.
No.
It's frustrating for me. Okay, so we did step 5. Now, you can find the instructions for this again in the Facebook VIP group. Now we're on step 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold our sleeve up. We're just folding it up. We want to approximately align the raw edges again. So I'm just aligning the raw edges with the edge of my quilt. And then I'm just going to take those same pins and I'm going to pin with my sleeve folded up. What do you guys think about this so far? Do you see where I'm going with it?
Lolly said that's a slick trick. And Wendy said she loves this design and the flexibility of the blocks to be used for other things. I 100% agree. Awesome. I think that's so cool.
Yes. Okay, so now we've got it pinned again. Now, again, I like to do this with the right side up. I'm going to put the right side up, and we're just going to baste right between our basting stitch and the very edge of our quilt. So right in that seam allowance, again, with just a straight stitch.
They love it. They love this tip. No tricks, all treats. You got it. It does make perfect sense. Sarah's a genius. She's like, there's got to be a better way to do this.
All good inventions come from a place of frustration.
Yeah.
To do something. Okay. So there is our sleeve.
Ta-da.
And the reason, by the way, when you're figuring out how high, the height of your sleeve, I guess, or the width, I know I was using width in kind of different areas, but the instructions will help you sort that out. But when you're figuring out the width of your sleeve, you're adding that 3/8 of an inch because it's giving you a little more clearance for when you're putting, you're hanging your sleeve on, or hang it down, or whatever you guys hang it on.
That makes perfect sense.
So
and that was quick. That was quick.
It is so quick.
Now you need to find a way to bind it.
I will show you guys a sleeve method all day long, but binding.
Okay, so you guys like that? What do you think? And again, I will tell you the instructions. This is not specific to Spooky Cute, again, but it is something that you can do with any of our stuff that has a border on it. So she just made these instructions, and we're going to put it on our blog so you can access it on our website later today. It's also currently in our Facebook group. Okay. So I love it. Love it. Oh, that's funny. Amy, we confused Amy. She thought we were going to talk about shirts with the sleeve. Okay. I do have a giveaway coming up as well. So make sure you type the word sleeve in the comments. I'm going to switch my banner out here so you guys get a look at that keyword. Make sure you type that in. But in the meantime, let us know if you have any questions, just so that we make sure that we answered everything, and that I want to make sure everyone understands how to get the 10% off, how to get the bonus, and that expires at midnight because we don't want anybody to miss it, okay? Lots of sleeves popping in. What a great idea. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Let me go back to, I saw a question about sizing, so I'm just going to go back to that slide real quick because I think that will be the easiest thing to do. So there is the sizing information.
Yeah, so the question was, can you use a 5x7 hoop? So yes, a 5x7 hoop would be able to make this small wall hanging, which I think is a great size.
It is
25.5 by 25.5. That's what's hanging on the wall behind us, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a really cute little size there. Okay, I think we did it. I think we got everyone's questions answered. But I do want to pop Nina's contact information back up on the screen because I have seen some questions. If we didn't answer your questions specifically, do reach out to Nina. She will be glad to help you out. and get you all taken care of. And in the meantime, let's wrap up this really fantastic day with a giveaway. What do you say? Let's do it.
I love giveaways.
And I see that Nina's posting the order link, so make sure you go do that. And I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, Anne says she has been using that sleep technique for years. Well, Anne, I wish you would have shown me years ago.
So smart. All right, we're going to go ahead and pick a winner. And the winner today is getting $50 in Hoop Sisters store credit. And that's you can go shopping on our website. Roxanne, you know your last name. Roxanne on YouTube. Congratulations and thank you so much for watching us live. So Roxanne, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and email Nina@hoopsisters.com and let her know that you won today's giveaway, and she will go ahead and pop $50 in store credit in your online account with us so you can go shopping. And you guys, I love you. So you're all so nice and saying congratulations and all that good stuff. What an awesome group of people we hang out with. Okay. Anything else, Sarah?
I don't think so.
I think so
we
either.
Covered it. Well, I guess there was one question that just popped in my head. I just saw right before you were doing the giveaway. They said, is the 10% off only for Spooky Cute? So just a reference, and you can always watch the replay back if you're still uncertain, but it's just 10% off for any 2 items that you add to your cart from that Spooky Cute category. It does exclude the threads and the strip stick.
You got it.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
And you can always reach out to Nina if you have questions. I always say just start adding stuff to your cart. It's all automatic.
Yeah.
So you'll figure it out. Yeah. Or just give Nina a call. But thank you all so much. We love that you love it. And we've got more good stuff coming the rest of the year too. So can't wait to see your pictures. Post them in our VIP Facebook group and show us what you do with all these versatile blocks. So, all right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.